What like gets you up in the morning?
I think, you've got to be really dedicated to be a painter, to be an artist. And I'm not sure I had that dedication at that time.
What's the type of advice that you give to your son?
Whenever I get too comfortable, I need to shake it up, move, and do something different. And quite often that's a geographical thing. I think you've always got to test your limits and your boundaries and keep pushing forward.
A few weeks ago, I came to New York with one big question. How do you find work that actually excites you? I interviewed a lot of people, but one conversation stood out. I met an art dealer who dreamed of being a painter, but he didn't have the dedication to pursue it. Now, years later, he enjoys his work, but he wishes he'd spent more time painting. His story made me rethink what dedication really means, not as an abstract concept, but as a daily practice. In this video, I'm sharing our full conversation, and at the end, I break down my biggest takeaway. Let's get into it.
My name is Alistair.
Alistair.
Alistair,
Okay,
Alistair.
awesome. So I've been asking people like what their dreams are, like what's the dream for you? So that's kind of my question for you. Like, what's the dream?
Boy, that's a tricky one. I mean, one thing that springs to mind, I'd love to get back to doing creative work and to painting. I used to paint, love painting, and do that, and spend a long and happy time with my wife, who's standing over there laughing at me, and to be a better person, frankly, and live in a world without Trump and a happier place than it seems to be at the moment.
Okay, you're the first person to mention politics.
I'm surprised you're not getting more of that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't even looking. But no, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think we all want to get old, but grow old sort of gracefully and have all my faculties and make art and do something interesting, creative.
How did you get into painting?
Well, I went to art school.
Oh,
So I studied art. I was always drawing as a kid. And now I'm an auction guy, so I run a fine art department in an auction house. So I look at other people doing things. I also do a TV show called Antiques Roadshow, so I'll do that.
How did you get into that?
Oh, I've been doing that 25 years because they asked me. And then they kept asking me. So, yeah, you can see it on YouTube. So that's fun. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. And like, what's kind of taken you away from painting recently?
Well, work. I mean, I had a choice. I think you've got to be really dedicated to be a painter, to be an artist. And I'm not sure I had that dedication at that time. But I think I'm quite good at the job that I do, so it was a good alternative for me. And I really love art, visual art. I love music, I love writing, all those things. So that's really my passion.
I guess just for some context, like I'm 23. I'm kind of yeah.
My son's 22. Yeah.
Yeah. So just trying to figure out where I fit into the world, how I can create an impact. And I'm just curious, like, what's the type of advice that you give to your son, honestly?
Well, he doesn't even listen. So, I think doing what you're doing, you're obviously very proactive guys. I mean, you go out of bed for a start, you're doing this, and you've got a project that you're working on, and it seems to mean something to you, so hats off to you. So
Thank you.
Keep that up. Stay curious is the key to it, I would say. I think that's the key to living a good life.
Have there been like any setbacks that you've faced? Because I know personally for me, like one thing that I struggle with is patience. And I'm just curious if that's like something that you've gone through and like, yeah.
A little bit. I mean, I had some health setbacks a few years ago, but that was fine. I was very lucky to have my wonderful wife over there. And no, I think you just have to have real tenacity. And I think it was a big deal for me because I'm from Scotland originally. And whenever I get too comfortable, I need to shake it up, move, and do something different. And quite often that's a geographical thing. I think you've always got to test your limits and your boundaries and keep pushing forward.
I totally
agree.
agree.
With someone who might be doing that too.
Yeah,
I'm sure you are as well.
I just moved like a few months ago.
Where are you from?
I'm from Philly, went to college in DC, and now I'm living in Boston. But I would love to like live here.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because the company I was with, we have a sale room in Philly. We're the oldest auction house in America. Wow. Everything in Philly is the oldest in America. So,
sure.
Yeah. And choose from Philly. And go Eagles, by the way.
Yes. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I guess just my last question. What like gets you up in the morning at this point?
My alarm clock, mainly, to be honest. The weekend, I'm not a morning person. I will admit, you can attest to that. Honestly, I love parts of my work. I get really excited if I'm going to go on a really interesting call and see some wonderful art and the people are interesting and I love the stories. That's what gets me up. I love that. It's always a challenge of a new day and just seeing new things and doing what you love. I can't even fathom how someone could get up in the morning if you were going to a job that you hated. So I'm very lucky. Very lucky.
Thank you so much.
Not at all.
Okay, so that was my conversation with Alistair. I think talking to him made me think about the type of work that I want to be doing. But the biggest lesson I took away is that if I have a dream, I have to be dedicated to it. Obviously, a lot of people have dreams, but most people don't accomplish them because they aren't dedicated to that dream. And of course, like, other life circumstances happen too, but I think the biggest part is the dedication piece. After that conversation, I realized that dedication means sacrifices. And for me, what I'm sacrificing is comfort after work. Before that conversation, when I would get home from work, I would watch Netflix, or I would go on YouTube, or I would text people, but I was never like focused on the work that I wanted to, I guess, create outside of my job. Now I find myself editing videos, planning videos, and just doing something, even if it's 5 minutes every day. And so this conversation reminded me that the choices that I make today, it does affect my future. Because if I make the easy decision, which is relaxing, Netflix, YouTube, it's just another day going by where I don't actually build towards the work that I want to create for myself. And so now I view dedication as giving up short-term comfort for really long-term gains. And that gain is the dream for me. But I would love to know, what does dedication mean to you? What does that look like on a day-to-day or monthly basis? And I would also love for you to share your biggest takeaway in the comments from this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. See ya.
Nice to meet you. Also, Celtic or Rangers?
Hearts.
Oh,
Bad question. Bad question.